October 14, 9:41 a.m. District Court. Defendant Limit number 4.
Hey, Nick!
What is it this time?
You won't believe how many people are here for the trial.
It is a murder case.
What are you talking about? You're here for the trial next door.
Trial next door? Next door?
Why, don't you know this, Nick? Yeah, you're so clueless sometimes. You're having Detective Admi's trial today.
Detective Admi?
You said they're going to try him as Misty Mask.
Wait, what? But hold on, what about our own trial? You're saying that 2 trials are going at the same time? Like right now? Well, I mean, isn't he supposed to be attending our own trial as well? Because if he's next door in a completely different trial, then how is this gonna work, I wonder? I mean, I've heard of these kinds of situations. I have been told about how after we find out who the killers are and we get our non-guilty verdicts, we save our defendant. Apparently the killers are also going to be tried as the killers for a completely different trial that happens afterwards. Which, from what I heard, they don't last that long, and every single time they're going to be found as the killer anyway, so it kind of feels pointless, but I get where they're going with this, and I guess this is an example of what is happening. They find the thief, and now they're having a completely different trial for that one, which probably won't be any different, to be quite honest.
Boy, I'd love to see Misty Mask's trial.
No. By the way, where's Pearls?
Oh, she went back home. She says she cannot neglect her training anymore.
Oh. So she's not gonna watch the magic show then? You don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh? In comparison to someone else around here.
Yeah, ever since that incident last year.
Please! Don't ignore me!
Oh, Mr. Delight! Good morning!
No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone.
Come on, don't be so silly. Wait a second.
You don't mean you're the murderer? No. No! I'm just a poor thief! No, wait, that's not right. I think I'm poor. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists.
Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick?
Yeah, it's possible. But today's trial is a race against the clock.
Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option. October 14, 10 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 6. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense's Grand Mage is ready, Your Honor. You're ready. Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Gatto. He's got the judge in the palm of his hand, yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Gatto. Ha! Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war. But that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes, well, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. Oh, that's not a good mentality to have. Life is not that harsh for it to be considered war. I think that our friend Gato needs to lighten up a bit. Hey Gato, how about I... Don't even think about it. I'm not going to partake in any of your shenanigans the same way you did with your previous prosecutors. So don't even think about dragging me into any of your stunts. Not this case, not any other future case. This is a war between me and Mr. Wright, and nothing else matters. You got that? Oh.
Hi! Akarimasu!
The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 AM on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 AM of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Gato. Please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. But the first one is always the best. Mr. Gato, your witness? Okay then. Let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Rondelet, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Ms. Wright, does the defense any objections? Maybe a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but... I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Does the Rubberducky have any objections? In which case, we are grand, Your Honor. Ha! You got guts, Trite. Alrighty, Mr. Delight. Please take the stand. You did it, didn't you?
Yes.
What?
No! That's not true.
For a moment there I thought I would set the record for the shortest trial ever. Yeah, seriously. I mean, we cannot end it that fast.
I didn't even get a chance to show you how I can make my rubber ducky speak German. Kissing! Well.
Ihr musstet als Partei...
Not now, mein Führer. Oh, Mr. Dallada really looks plenty guilty with that face he's making.
And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Ha! Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could know.
Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened.
Alrighty then, let's get to it. Let's talk about your visit to KB Security. That evening, around 1 AM, I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, he'd ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
1 AM. The exact time the murder took place. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Ha! It's bitter today too. Just like my destiny.
You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination if you please.
Alrighty then. That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Ballard in his office at KB Security. 1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that? Yes, that's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow and my internal clock was also up.
1 a.m. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullet, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure.
The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there.
It ordered you there?
Yeah, it was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters back then?
Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this or take that.
Why did you save those for later, Mr. Delight?
Please don't say anymore.
Yep. It's like saving the best magic spell for last in a magic show. And boy, do I have a special one for today. It'll blow everyone's mind. Ah! It will blow everyone's minds. Now, what should I do? Alright, well, let's press harder. Actually, that probably wasn't a good idea, since he may end up talking, like, continue talking his idea from before. Let's see. So what did the blackmail letter in question say? Okay, let's change the subject. Let's ask this.
It said to bring $50,000.
Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing crime.
Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway.
Yep. Cause we surely know that Ron Delight has money problems back home. That's why I have come in for help. Like right over here. Gonna try and find the spell for money in my little book of witchcraft. I'll get back to you on that one. Oh, is that right?
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Ha! The muddy mudskipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do.
The blackmail threat didn't scare me. He wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything.
Just, what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter says, if you don't want your identity revealed, correct?
I'm sure he was referring to the whole mask the mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Ballard didn't have anything on me.
He didn't?
Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Daisy believes in me.
Aww. So that's why Mr. Light didn't believe he was Mask the Mask.
That's why I knew they were just hollow threats. I've been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right?
Yes, that's right.
A security chief? You? I mean, you out of all people? I mean, it is better than Larry Buzz, but still. And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. A revenge for an old grudge? A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? Nah, this isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Yes, let's ask why he was fired. Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job.
Well...
The world is filled with those who have said. I wish I had never asked that. Okay, then I take it. Defendant, please answer the question.
Well... I needed money.
You needed money?
Well, you see, Daisy loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick?
My salary wasn't nearly enough. So I stole data from the company. That is why you got fired? Well, now we know. And knowing is half the magic. Like, I found the right spell for you, like right over here. This one is gonna help you in finding the best job in the world that will satisfy the needs of your beloved. It says here that you should place 3 candles on an altar made by you and dab some bergamot oil and... you know what, there's no need for the rest of this. Like, the best part is like right at the beginning, right over here. Just go dabbing on the haters. It is proven to make your life successful like no matter what. Just like doing Fortnite dances. Come again?
KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief,
You stole some data and sold it.
Mr. Bella found out, and I was fired immediately.
What?! I wish I had never asked that. It made me go wah so hard. My voice is becoming all high pitched.
I was somehow able to keep it secret. It made it seem like I had quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good.
You know why? Because Ron hid information from us once again. That's why he doesn't look so good. I mean, we literally asked him yesterday why he got fired and he dodged the question by talking about Desiree and how she would be so mad if she found out she's Mask the Mask. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that. I mean, that's...
He sure told you, Nick. I mean, wow, what a revelation of the century.
So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct?
Yes. Sorry.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just... This whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. Man, Nick, you have some of the best life metaphors. Why would you do something like that? I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious.
Well, for this is hobby. What else?
Wasting money, huh? It's not a waste!
So Ms. Light doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she?
So it would seem.
I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other.
Long story short, it's never good. But what can I say? The powerful magic of love can make you do crazy things. It'll make you feel like you're flying with wings. I cannot believe it. This case has gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples. I guess that's a sign, Nick. Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright.
There wasn't much to his testimony, was there?
Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least that's what it sounds like to me.
Uh-oh. I got a bad feeling about this. We better be careful.
But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, hold on a second. You're not lying to us about this, right, Ron? Cause to me it sounds like you're full of pixie dust. Of course you would be scared in this situation, because your identity would be revealed and you needed that money. And you don't want Desiree to, like, find this out. Like, out of all people, you don't want Desiree to find this out. Like, am I right? And, it's not like he is lying about anything else, I think. Hold on a second. Nah, he wouldn't have any reason to lie about him being the chief of security. And... I mean... he does seem to be telling the truth about selling the data. That would be good enough reason for him to get fired, so... Let me see about this.
Objection!
I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore. What do you mean? The victim had no proof the defendant was masked to mask. But you were the one who stole company secrets only 1 year earlier. But that was all over. It was all over with once I was fired. But it is true that the fact that I stole secrets was kept under wraps. Even so, there was no reason for me to pay up a whole year later. Is that really true?
What is Nick?
The fact that everyone was stealing company data, I wonder if he would have had a problem if that ever became a public knowledge. Yeah, you definitely would. Mr. Delight, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public. Yeah, I think that this would cause you many troubles. Why? Because, well, of a particular somebody that you kept talking about up until this point, Ron. I think we all know why you wanted to keep this a secret. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to do by bullying your own client? Ha. Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. That's exactly right. Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo. Little lawyer amigo? Yes, now come on. Provide some evidence to back up your assertion. Why would Mr. Delight want to keep his data stealing secret from going public? Okay, well, here's a reason why. Because of Desiree Delight. Because if the public were to find out, and she would find out as well, that Ron Delight was truly the mask and he stole money and all that. I mean, you surely wouldn't want Desi to find out, Ron Delight. Now, would Achoo! Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret. A certain person? Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. Ah! But I... Listen to me. My Daisy, she's... Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. God, oh! Yes, wait up. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh, No! Everything's falling neatly into place for him. Sakajo, what? Don't talk about my desert like that. Or you'll be sorry. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick?
I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. And I've had prosecutors before with whips on them as well, so go figure. Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. The motive is clear. Let's move on. Grr. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. At the CEO's office. What happened?
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead.
I see. Solely hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that Mr. Mask struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Admi turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Ha! No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that.
Well, what are you saying? I really was attacked!
We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Goddamn, Mr. Wright. Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend.
Oh, thank you, sweetie.
You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Gato. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. At the CEO's office.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
Who was this suspicious shadow?
If there were 1,000 of me, and even one knew, I tell you, trust me. His dodging all of our questions is not helping us with this case.
Okay, then how was the victim, Mr. Bullard, at the time?
What do you mean by, how was he?
Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place.
That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
Forget it. Everything I ask comes back to hate me like a walk straight to the face.
Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed.
Your forehead?
Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Oh, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit. So, I think I was a little dazed for a while. I don't think Mr. Delight even grasped what you were asking, Nick.
Yeah, I like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Like a punch to the stomach, like a kick to the nades, just like Mia used to do. And eventually Maya will do that too. Maybe that will knock some sense back into him.
If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed.
That? Could you please clarify what you were referring to?
Why, my Mask costume, of course.
Wait just a moment. Mask?